is Channel 10 Nelson, your community access television. Programming on this channel is made by local volunteers. If you would like to be a part of your community television, please call 354-4200 or write to Shaw Cable, 613 Ward Street, Nelson, V1L1T2.
Hello, I'm Deb Thomas, Chief Librarian of the Nelson Municipal Library, and I'm here today to talk about some new books in our collection. I'm going to start out with a couple of non-fiction books. The first book is called How to Clean Practically Anything, and it's put out by the editors of Consumer Reports. The title is a little deceiving because, in fact, what it is a Consumer Reports rating of practically every cleaner imaginable. For cleaning practically everything. A few examples are audiovisual equipment, silver, hair, glass, carpets, floors, drains, and so on and so on. A chapter at the end actually focuses on cleaning tips. A warning about this book, it doesn't talk about environmental impact of these cleaners. It's based on cost and effectiveness only. It has a really good index in the back too. The next book is called Care of the Wild, Feathered and Furred, and this is the 10th edition. This book has been out for quite a while. I've in fact used it myself and find it really valuable. It's by May Hickman and Maxine Guy. It tells you everything you need to know about caring for an injured wild bird or animal. Bedding, diet, treatment for injuries, housing, tar damage, poisoning, oil spill damage, parasites, and finally, how to prepare for release, which is certainly a very important part of caring for an injured wild animal. The illustrations are good, and the writing is clear and straightforward. I've always found whatever I've needed to know whenever I've had to take care of a wild animal or bird. I also have two fiction books here. Of Desire is by David Helwig, a Canadian author. He's one of Canada's most respected writers. The Toronto Star has said of him, his is an honorable, inquiring, and always intelligent sensibility. He's the author of more than 20 books of stories, poetry, novels, and criticism. He is also the co-editor of the annual Best Canadian Short Stories. Of Desire is about two brothers, Donald and Arnold, and the darknesses they must face about themselves and each other after their father's apparent death by drowning. The next book is called Trust by George V. Higgins. He's another veteran writer. Higgins has written 19 novels. This is his 20th. His last novel, Wonderful Years, came out to critical acclaim. This book, Trust, is about an engaging lowlife named Earl Beale, for whom things never quite go right. It's not without irony that he ends up working as a used car salesman. Higgins' ear for dialogue makes this a delightful read. I also wanted to talk a bit about biographies. Now you see here there are 7 titles here, all just recently arrived in our collection, haven't even hit the shelves yet. Biographies are really a popular part of our collection. They're very well read, very well used. And what we have here is quite a selection and an assortment. I'll start out at the very end here with It's Always Something by Gilda Radner. Gilda Radner recently died, as you may know, from cancer, and this is the story of her battle with cancer. Memoirs by Andrei Sakharov, the Soviet dissident who now lives in the United States. Federico Garcia Lorca by Ian Gibson. So these first two were autobiographies. This is a biography about Federico Garcia Lorca, who was a Spanish poet, also fought in the Spanish Revolution. I believe he died in the Spanish Revolution. My Life in 3 Acts by Helen Hayes, the British actress. Jane Fonda, an American actress. An Intimate Biography by Bill Davidson. And For Earth's Sake, The Life and Times of David Brower. And this is, again, an autobiography. David Brower has been an environmentalist for many, many years. Georgia O'Keeffe, the American painter. Her paintings have come back into popularity recently, partly because of the great popularity of southwestern American art. And she did live in New Mexico. And that's by Roxana Robinson. Before I close today, I want to mention that next week is Literacy Week. And I want to remind you of all of those unfortunate British Columbians out there who won't be able to read any of these books. There's 17% of adults in British Columbia who can't read or are functionally illiterate, so they can't read or write. They can't do things like read a prescription, read a newspaper, read a road sign. And the really unfortunate thing is 9 out of 10 of those aren't being helped. In the West Kootenays, we've put together a group called Project Literacy West Kootenay, and it's made up of the librarians and some interested individuals. And we're trying to get some literacy tutoring started in the Kootenays. There has been some adult basic education has been going on at the college for years, but what we want is a community-based thing where people who are embarrassed about their disability can come in and just drop in and find out about it and learn without having to formally enroll in a college. We're starting out by setting up tutoring training sessions for tutors so that tutors can have the skills to properly teach people how to read and write. And we're hoping by next spring we can actually set up some programs. So if anyone is interested, either in helping doing organization work or in tutoring, or if they know a learner who needs some help, they can call the Nelson Library, 352-6333, or the library in their local community. Thank you very much. Don't forget, don't judge a book by its cover. See you next month.